Now then, do you worry about how much food you throw away? Well, if you do, you're not on your own. Latest figures suggest that the average household throws away £700 worth of food every year. But at the same time, 4 million people in this country are living in food poverty. It just seems absolutely crazy, doesn't it? So that can't be right, can it? Well, one idea to help is Community Fridge. I had never heard of this, I must confess. This is a place for people and businesses to donate surplus perishable foods, which is available to anyone in the community to take. Now, I've seen this done with a shed in parts of the county, but never with a fridge. And Tessa is from Hubbub UK, a charity which is hoping to increase the number of community fridges. Good morning to you, Tessa.
Good morning, Sally.
I hold my hands up, Tessa. I had never heard of this, but what a brilliant idea.
Well, thank you very much. It's really communities that are making this happen around the UK, and it's so exciting because every fridge looks very different and connects to their community in quite a unique way. So as you said, community fridges are spaces where businesses, residents and local organisations can exchange surplus food within the community, and they're open to everyone. So on the one hand, they certainly help reduce food waste and increase access to nutritious food, but they're also a space where people are coming together, meeting their neighbours and sharing skills, other household items, time, and many of them are connected to things like cooking workshops or community gardens, etc. So they really are so much more than the fridge.
Well, I was going to say I had no idea about that. I'm learning all sorts this morning, Tess, so I really am. So I had visions of this large fridge, a kind of a big kind of old type fridge that would be stacked up with perishables like salad stuffs and frozen foods and stuff. But it can be any kind of fridge, and what's more important is almost where it's plugged in, isn't it?
That's it, exactly. Yeah, so they tend to be in community centres, universities, churches, cafes, street corners, sports centres, you name it. But really, it's what makes them thrive is those that are managing the fridge and the space around it.
This might vary from fridge to fridge, you'll have to explain, but do people have to qualify? Is there some kind of way that they have to prove that they need the food out of the fridge, or can it just be taken by anybody?
No, absolutely not. The fridges are open for everybody, regardless of means. So for us, it's very much about reducing food waste locally, but also normalising a spirit of sharing with your neighbours. So if you are jetting off on holiday, you could give it to the fridge, or you might feel actually, it's okay to knock next door and say, do you want this pint of milk that I haven't opened, etc. So for us, we're really interested to see what they can do in terms of community building, as well as reducing food waste. And we really don't think that they are a sustainable solution to food poverty, So I think
it's this idea of sharing somehow. If you've got too much of that, well then why not obviously give it to somebody else? I am really, really fussy about getting stuff eaten out of my fridge first, and using perishables. So I rarely throw anything away, and if I do, it's with a really heavy heart that I do it. But I can remember going to a shed, and it was, and the woman who ran it actually hated me calling it a shed, but it did look like a shed. And what happened was she collected a lot of foodstuffs surplus from one of the local supermarkets. And it was initially for the children and the parents of this area where there was a problem with not earning enough money and for food. But what she found out was she closed it during the school holidays, and somebody got in touch with her and said, hang on a minute, you've got a row of pensioners there. And of course she thought it was just the kids and the families using the shed, as I called it, but it wasn't. It was all sorts of people going in and just taking. And that need is there right across generations, isn't it?
Sadly it is. It sounds like a great initiative, and I think especially for pensioners it's a nice place where they can just come along, have an excuse to get out the house and have a chat, and some of the foods spark conversation.
I looked at your map this morning, and we're hanging our head in shame here in Lancashire because we don't have one, do we?
Not yet.
What do we need to
But
do?
if anyone listening would like to set up a community fridge, they can go to hubbub.org.uk and they can get in touch with us then, and we'll provide them with guidance of how you set up a safe and efficient fridge, and we'll help to put them in touch with the other fridges around the UK and really support them kind of with every step of the journey, from the logistics of setup to thinking about how it goes on to have a life of its own within the community.
It's a fantastic idea. And thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about it. That's Tessa Trix, and she's from Hubbub UK. And if you're interested in getting in touch with them, then we'll keep all the details here at BBC Radio Lancashire and pass them on for you. It is a scheme that's being supported by the National Lottery. So if you want any more info in that, then as I say, get in touch with us here at BBC Radio Lancashire, and we'll find out how you can get a fridge somewhere near you.